Hey guys, this is Natalie with Treasures of Many, and I thought I would take the opportunity today to use this really nice stamp set from Stampin' Up called For Your Country. So what you will need is a card base, which I chose baked brown sugar as my cardstock, and it is a top folding card. So it will be, 11 by 4 1/4, and then when you fold it, you have 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. Next, I'm using a piece of Whisper White, and this measures 4 inches by 5 1/4, and it's going to go like that. Next, I'm using Mossy Meadow cardstock, and this piece is going to measure 3 by 4 1/4, and it will go like that. And then our last piece is going to be 2 3/4 by 4 inches, and it's going to go like this. And this is some temporary adhesive. Take your small piece of Whisper White cardstock and center it over the larger piece. Then we're going to take some baked brown sugar, and we're going to ink up our sentiment that was in the stamp set. And I'm going to stamp it off twice on my scratch piece of paper, and then stamp it onto my card. I want to make it look like an old, worn out newspaper. Stamp. And I'm not going to start in the same spot each time because I don't want to get a pattern. Okay, I'm going to show you guys a little trick that I've never actually tried. I just thought of it just now. So, I'm pretty sure the Mossy Meadow is dark enough to stamp over this and you not seeing the words, but I really do kind of want this to look like a silhouette. So, I got out a piece of Whisper White, just a piece of scratch paper, because we're going to cut it out so it doesn't matter what size. But this is real tedious, and I don't want to cut out in between all of that. I just don't think it would look as good. So I'm actually going to lay my stamp down, and I'm lightly going to trace around the outline of the stamp because I think that would look really good that way, and that will be really easy to cut out. So it'll be stamped this way. Make sure you don't do it like this, because if you do it like this, it'll come out backwards. So we're going to lay it down. And I'm just going to lightly, with a pencil, kind of trace around him. And it'll be easy to line up stamping it because this is the outline of your stamp. All right, see? And then we'll just put our stamp on our block. And also this way, because you have that outline there, if you wanted to, you could stamp over it a few times because you're just going to have to line it up just like that. And I wanted to throw out one other thing. I stamped this on green so that you guys could see. But when you're doing second and third generation stamps, if you get out a nice piece of white paper, and you can use the same one, you know, till you get it filled up on whatever stamps. And each time you stamp, if you don't overlap them like this and leave them separated where you can cut them out, you're actually not wasting any ink by doing that because you can cut these out and reuse them on a different project. I did this so you guys could see, so that's why. All right, so I'm going to do him in Mossy Meadow. I thought about doing it in black, but I really wanted it to kind of coordinate with the Mossy Meadow piece that we have in our card, and I think this will be good. We'll find out. It's like, it was like 5 o'clock in the morning when I started doing this. My entire family is still asleep. I'm going to wipe the edges off because I got it really juicy, and I have a tendency to press down too hard, obviously. That's why I got it this juicy. And I'll get that everywhere, even though it would actually kind of be cool, wouldn't it? Because it'll outline that, like, perfect. Actually, I think I would. I think I'm going to try that, guys. I mean, what can it hurt? I can just cut around it a little more, right? Okay, so I completely got it all the way around. I got a little bit in the center. I don't really want that to show up, but we'll see. All right, so remember, all we got to do is line it up with that, and yeah. If it would have all came out this way, I think I would have left it, but it didn't come out over here, and it came out kind of thick over here. So I'm just going to cut right on the inside of that line. And I'm going to cut this out, and we'll meet back. Okay, he's on here because I embossed him 4 times. If you remember, I had gotten a little green spot like right there, and I didn't try to clean it off before it set in too much. But if you do scrape it with a sharp craft knife, very lightly, you can usually get it off. But I waited too long and mine didn't look that good, so I embossed over him instead. So that's why he's on here, but we can go ahead and take him off now. And in retrospect, I'm glad I did it, because it really does look good. It may kind of mess up my plan to die cut through him, but we'll see. Now, the other thing is I want this to have an old kind of like newspaper look. So I'm going to now take these parts and I'm going to go around my edge. And I've had a lot of questions about this, so I'm going to show you what I use. This is the baked brown sugar. This is just those little plastic bags you can get, and I have a label maker, and so I just made the label baked brown sugar. This is a makeup sponge that I've folded in half and put a paper clip through. So let's take this apart and let's go around the edges. This is not put together at all. I've just got them sitting on top of each other. This is what it's going to kind of look at. So my original idea was to take my die cut thank you, and I wanted to cut part of that thank you out like that and like this, and then I was going to raise them up, but it would be cut out from this piece, so the lettering would come up over with it. I am not sure how well that's going to work now that I've put 3 coats of embossing powder over this, but I'm going to try it anyway. Okay, guys, I'm back. It did work, and you can go ahead and start layering these pieces down just like this. So guys, here it is all glued down. If you notice though, the Whisper White looks different. Let me show you how I did that real quick. And then I very lightly just went over it, just like that, okay? Because I was wanting it to look old and worn anyway. So that's how, guys, I ran the thank and the you through my Big Shot 3 more times, and then I ran the cutouts that I got from them through my Xyron sticker maker, and I made 3 stickers of each one. I love this little thing. It is perfect for small sentiments like this. So we are going to stack these on top of each other, kind of in the same way that you would use dimensionals, but it's almost impossible to use dimensionals on little tiny words like this. But doing it this way will make it stand up and have the same look. Now, we're not going to stack them all on top of each other right now. We're only going to put down one of the yous and one of the thank yous. Just one, and I'll show you why in just a second. Okay, we're just going to peel off this top piece just like this. And don't throw this just anywhere because it has really sticky stuff still all over it. So everywhere the thank you wasn't, it's still sticky. So I do this and then I toss it, which I could probably use that for something. I don't know. But anyway, so now I'm going to take my little brad pokey thing, I guess, and I'm going to pick these up. I find this thing works really great, and I'm just going to set them right inside there. Just like that. Now these little spaces right here, we're going to have to fill those in. Guys, honestly, they are so tiny. I don't really know if I can get them back in, but I'm going to try. So I'm just going to do a little tiny dab of the Tombow. It actually goes like that. I feel like I'm doing surgery. All right. So you're going to do that for both the thank you as well, but just do just the one, and then I'll show you where to go next. Okay, so that's what it looks like when you put in one layer back. And the little bitty center pieces that we spent a lot of time trying to get back in there, that's the only time we have to do that. So don't sweat it. You're not going to do that again. All right, now, all we're going to do is pick up another U and put it right over top. We'll do our last U. Now, the one that was actually cut from this, that is the one that's going to go on top. So go ahead and layer up your 3 U's and your 3 thank yous. All right, guys, here it is. Not exactly what I had pictured. I do like it. If I do, or when I do, I'm sure I will do this card again. Instead of the thank yous that I cut out of white scratch paper to build up, I think this would show up better if I would have cut that from the Mossy Meadow. And so if I did this again, and when I'm at the end, I may take this up and do that and see how it comes out and just see if it helps it stand out. Because I do think that if the color in between here was a different one, it would help it stand up some. Because it's kind of camouflaged, which I'm not going to take credit like I planned it that way, because it didn't. But in hindsight, it's kind of cool because, you know, it's the military card and it's kind of camouflaged, and so it kind of goes, I guess. I could just be reaching. I don't know. Remember, all of these products that I used are Stampin' Up! Products, except for a couple of things. I will have all the measurements at the bottom in the description and on my website at www.treasuresofmini.com. I'm also on Facebook at treasuresofmini.com. You can also find me on Pinterest at Natalie Mishoe, Mishoe, and Google+. Give me a thumbs up if you like it and subscribe, and I would love to see some cards that you guys do with this thank you technique. So until next time, you guys have a wonderful holiday weekend. Minute things. This was the inside of the card that I went back and did later, and the boots and the Godspeed came from the same For Your Country stamp set that I used on the rest of the card. Now, I went back and I redid another card, and as you can see, I did use the Mossy Meadow in the behind the thank you, and it gave it like a shadowy look. Now, on the Whisper White cardstock, before I did any stamping at all, I took some Tim Holtz Distress ink, and I used the antique linen, and I distressed both pieces of Whisper White cardstock before I started stamping. You can also see that I did stamp the soldier straight onto the piece of paper instead of cutting him out on a different piece. I think it looks much better this way. Hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Bye.